Chapter 21 Gravity. As the group stepped inside the third level, a bright light shined in their eyes. It was as if they had walked into a bright sunny day. It took some time for their eyes to adjust. Their eyes felt a little sore at first. Staying in the other sides for so long was like staying in a cave for too long. Butterflies fluttered by of a variety. The group saw a golden path leading to a tree whose branches umbrella the sky. The tree's roots were twisted in bunches beneath it. In the center of the tree of life was the symbol of Metatron's cube. "Incredible!" gasped Isaac as he admired their new surroundings. "This place is gorgeous," beheld Simone in wonderment. "Maybe we should have a home here, Zyact." "I don't know, Simone," Zyact answered as he stared at the tree. The tree had bright green leaves that swayed in the wind as pink cherry blossom petals danced. "This place is so pretty," Zyact stated as he admired this realm. He started to walk towards the large tree. He breathed in deep. "We're finally going to go to Earth?" Zyact wasn't sure if he was going to enjoy the physical realm after they'd been absent for so long. "Well, mates," Isaac strolled up next to Zyact and raised his hand high. "High five!" "We'll be to Earth soon, Zyact." Group high five. Enthusiastically, Simone ran up to the two, raising both his hands up high to clap. Zyact held out both of his hands for the clap. He shouted, "High five!" He was glad to finally receive that promised high five, and he also felt more included with the group. Simone and Isaac simultaneously shouted, "High five!" They clapped each other's hands. "I'm going to miss you, lads." Isaac embraced Zyact. Then Simone, "You two take care of each other. Maybe I'll see you again someday," winked Isaac as he spoke. Zyact had a good laugh when his heart sank. He knew it was goodbye for Isaac. Isaac would probably use the tree to transport himself back to his boat in another part of Earth, and maybe a whole nother time. Zyact was not sure about that part. Upset, Simone gave Isaac a tight hug. "I'm going to miss you, man." He patted him on the back. Stirring inside Isaac's coat, Cotton poked its head out and yawned. It had just finished its nap. Cotton scanned around. "Daddy, we made it already!" Cotton twitched an ear. "I want to see Berlin." "Indeed we did, little one. Be polite and say goodbye to our two friends, lad." Ears sliding back, Cotton sighed. "Goodbye, Simone. Goodbye, Zyact." Simone reached out a hand, petting Cotton. "Aw, Cotton, you're so adorable. We'll miss you. Take care of Isaac." Cotton ruffled its fur and hopped into Simone's arms. It nuzzled into his face next. Laughing, Zyact took a seat in the grassy meadow under the shade of the large tree. He smelt the cherry blossom scent in the air. Walking with Cotton nestled in his arms, Simone handed Cotton off to Zyact. "Don't forget to cuddle Zyact now. Isaac, are you going to let Cotton keep its wings?" After Cotton tackled Zyact in the grass, he hopped up his chest. It cuddled into Zyact's face. Zyact could feel the bunny soft fur rubbing on his skin. He blew on its fur for fun. "Aye, that I am. It's very handy for the little one," beamed Isaac. "I bet it is," laughed Simone. "I reckon you're really going to miss being able to change diapers with just the thought." "Aye, I'll miss that too." Isaac raised his eyes to the sky with a large smile. "Berlin can have fun with that." Cotton hopped down from Zyact and sung to Isaac for attention. They heard it sing the sound. Then Cotton threw itself in the air and whizzed around. Finally it landed on Isaac and climbed on his shoulder like a parrot. The wind picked up. Isaac's hair and coat flowed in the breeze. "Well, I guess it's time, boys." Isaac strolled over to the tree and dug into his coat pocket. "I have a proposition for you two." He pulled Selway's necklace from his coat pocket. "If you two can find me, I promise to give this necklace back." He waved it in the air. "I'm making this be an incentive to find me." He winked. "Goodbye, mates. May we see you again." Isaac lifted his hat and took a bow. With a big breath, he concentrated on his ship with Berlin in it. The next thing they witnessed is Isaac stepping through, disappearing. Gasping, Simone shouted, "How I can't believe—" Then he laughed out loud, and he slapped his knee. I'm going to miss that pirate." Zyact ran to the tree and huffed. "How did he manage to take that necklace from us one more time?" "I don't know, Zyact, I just don't know. Maybe it was one of the times we gave him a hug," pondered Simone. "I guess that's that. I wonder if they made it." Taking a few steps back from the tree, Zyact stared at the patterned symbol. It reminded him of the lines of a star with a cube inside of it. He sighed and peered back at Simone. "It's just you and me now." "All right now. It's our turn. This is how we're going to do it. Hold my hand and we will walk through together. I'll concentrate on our destination. You will concentrate on following me. Got it?" Nodding, Zyact held his hand out toward Simone. He felt his fingertips brush against Simone's skin. He gripped Simone's warm hand. "I'm ready," Zyact said as he looked into Simone's hazel brown eyes. Gazing back, Simone gave a nod, then a deep breath. "All right, here goes nothing." As Simone started to walk through, suddenly he received a boot to the back. It forced him through. Concurrently, Zyact felt his free hand grabbed. He was then jerked away and flung back, twisting so that he hit the ground facing his enemy. Zyact's heart skipped a beat as he felt his body impact the ground. It hurt his hip, and took him a few moments to realize what happened. Was that Simone who spun him around? No, it was someone else entirely. Zyact cried out, "Who are you? Where is Simone?" The man appeared well over 6 foot tall. He resembled a rock star from the '80s, with golden fluffy hair flowing halfway down his back. His bangs cascaded to the left of his face, his clothing black, tight, and with belts fashioned here and there. His boots appeared to be knee-high Gothic combat boots, with straps going up each boot. Each hand had elbow-length leather gloves with belts. On each wrist hung what looked like cast-iron shackles, with chains that dangled from them. At the end of each chain had an iron ball. The smaller ball had the words "weak force," and the larger ball had the words "strong force." His expression was intense as he spoke. "Simone is no more of a nuisance. I am gravity, and you are electromagnetism." Zyact rested in the grass. He felt confused at first by what gravity meant. So it must be true. The tall man from his nightmare must have been gravity. Normally, he thought he'd be feeling fear about now, but strangely enough, he felt calm and frustrated. "Gravity, I hate to inform you, but I'm Zyact from the planet Wrath. I'm not some sort of universal force, at least not that I know of." Zyact began to mutter to himself before going silent. "You thought being incarnated on Wrath would liberate you from your duties. It only made you lose your memories." Gravity paced back and forth in front of the tree as he spoke, clenching and unclenching his fists. "I have come to return you back to where you belong." "And where do you believe I belong, on the 5th level?" "You pulled me down the hole next to the shrub, didn't you? I bet you were that voice who could talk to me in my head somehow." Zyact's voice sounded loud. "Yes, it was I that did it all. You agreed to it. It was I who made sure you would hate your life on Wrath and beg to be free, and begged you did. It was I who freed you from that miserable life and gave you safety. Oh, how you enjoyed it. I was waiting for the right moment to tell you, however, that Simone interrupted the process, so I waited once again for a moment you would beg to be free. That moment came in the desert, but it was Simone who intervened once again." Gravity clenched his fist. "So now is the moment. Now I will give you back your lost memories. Now you will retake your position as electromagnetism." Gravity's boots thundered as he approached Zyact, pushing him back and holding him down with one boot. Reaching his hand out, he placed it on Zyact's head. "Remember who you are." Energy radiated down Gravity's arm and forced its way into Zyact's head. Zyact tried hard to sway his head side to side, but Gravity's strength was overwhelming. Suddenly, as if he had opened an album of memories, he saw his creation since before he was born as Zyact. He was an intelligent part of the universe. Many spiritually conscious entities would come to the 5th level to make an agreement on a subconscious level to be governed by the universal laws. He knew that they must agree in order to have experiences in certain dimensions. Just as the heart pumps blood through the circulatory system on an automatic subconscious level, so too does the forces that operate the universe. He knew he was to work hand in hand with gravity, another personified force of nature. They worked on the 5th level, and their work radiated out to all levels. But desire boiled in electromagnetism's core. He wanted to be a creator of experiences too. He wanted to have a life in one of those cherished dimensions. In his longing, he found himself escaping through the barrier that kept their spirits apart. He had incarnated as Zyact on Wrath. The rest was history. He recalled gravity as his friend, and he knew it was only the grief of losing electromagnetism that angered gravity. "Gravity, I'm so sorry I left. You can release my face, please," Zyact begged. A voice shot out from behind them. "Keep your filthy hands off of Zyact." Letting go of Zyact's head, gravity turned toward the voice and sneered. "Impossible. How did you get back?" Sitting up, Zyact rubbed his face. He thought he heard Simone's voice. Was he hallucinating? He had other questions on his mind, like, was he still governing the force of electromagnetism if he wasn't doing it consciously? Suddenly the answer came from his mind. He just knew he was still doing his duty all this time. He was just unaware of it, until up to the point that gravity forced him to remember. "I suppose you could say I had a change of mind. When you shot me through without Zyact, my mind became focused on finding him, so I brought myself back to here." Simone pointed to the spot he stood. "Zyact's coming with me," demanded Simone as he drew his sword ready to fight. Laughing hysterically, gravity held his arms horizontally from his sides, his face to the sky. "So we fight again, Simone. Will you die as easily as you did the last time? You know you can't defeat me." As soon as he finished his sentence, he stormed after Simone, swinging his right weight towards him. Trying his best to block the head-on attack, Simone raised his sword. It was to no avail. His sword flew off into the distance as he tumbled backward. Gravity watched as Simone toppled into the grass 10 feet from the tree of life. On his right hand, he wrapped his wrist around the weight's chain. He licked his lips. He was going to enjoy bashing Simone silly. Climbing to his feet, Zyact bolted towards the scene. "Gravity, please, I belong with you in the 5th level. I know this now, please. I know you need my help." Gravity leered at Zyact. "Let us determine what happens. That is, if Simone can even stand for himself." Gravity shoved Zyact back into the grass. Zyact rolled a few feet before he cried into his arms on the ground. "Simone, you agreed timelessly that the force of gravity binds you. Why do you persist to challenge me?" Gravity held out one hand and forced Simone to become temporarily unstuck. He floated in the air for a few moments before gravity pounded him into the ground with the force of Simone's own weight. Stumbling up off the ground, Simone wiped blood off of his lips onto his clothes and then pointed, shouting, "I said keep your hands off of Zyact." Using his imagination, Simone made his fists into cast iron balls and blasted forward, punching Gravity's face with all of his might. Gravity felt his jaw swing at an angle. He felt his body go weightless for a few moments before he smacked against a large root. He felt pressure in his sinuses as he quickly scooted himself to a stance against the root. "Ah!" Gravity yelled, and swung the left shackle in circles above his head. At the rate he swung the ball, it blurred like the blades of a helicopter in flight. Imagining his hands back to normal, Simone bolted to a boulder. "Come on now, Rock, work with me. You're going to become a large magnet." Grinning with this idea, Simone taunted, "Can you resist this, Gravity?" Gravity's weights began to slow down and start outward towards the source of the magnet. Zyact had noticed the tingling in his palms. He looked over at Simone had been doing. Instantly Zyact knew that Simone had activated the force of magnetism quite near to where he laid. To test his theory, to see if he was still running the force of electromagnetism, he forced the boulder that Simone enhanced to malfunction. It worked.